What's going on, everybody? Fail Mountain here, bringing you a new YouTube video on what I think are the top 5 important things if you want to start streaming and or creating content on the internet. If depending on what you want to stream and whatnot, you may actually appreciate this knowledge I'm about to give you, everybody. I have been streaming for about 5 years now. I spent most of that time on Twitch. I was on Mixer. Now I'm here on YouTube, where I've made my new home. So I hope you enjoy the content. Hope I answer all the questions that you're looking for to maybe get you started. I will be making a video breakdown on each individual topic, going a little bit further in depth. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. This way that you can get notified when I post my next video and dive a little bit deeper into each topic. Without waiting any further, let's jump right into this mix. All right, so for number 1 on the list, we're going to talk about streaming platforms. And then to me, I think that is your most important decision of your content creation and or streaming that you're going to be doing, is what platform do you want to stream on and what content do you want to make. That's the biggest thing I would say out of the whole list that we're going to want to dive into. Now, your biggest 3 you have obviously is YouTube gaming, Facebook gaming, and Twitch. Those I would say are your 3 biggest streaming platforms. There are tons of other smaller streaming platforms that are now popping up now that streaming and content creation is becoming a bigger thing. Even TikTok has a live thing now where you can stream live on TikTok. But all that aside, like I said, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch are your 3 biggest sites, in my opinion. Now, all 3 of those sites have more than just gaming involved. You have arts and crafts, just chatting on Twitch. Even YouTube has different genres and a huge wide variety of content creation on that. You can almost find almost anything on YouTube. So deciding on what you want to stream may affect or may even point you in a different direction of what platform you're wanting to go. Also, depending on what type of content creation you're wanting to do. If you're only wanting to stream like maybe once or twice, but maybe you want to make more YouTube or more videos, YouTube might be a thing for you. If you really just want to stream all the time, then obviously maybe Facebook gaming and or Twitch will be kind of where you may want to lean. It just kind of depends on where you want to go. Now, obviously, if you're not a partner or an exclusive deal contract, which you're a pretty big streamer, and by then you've already kind of know where you want to go and where you're at, and you're probably not watching this video, but if you are, obviously, well, you can only stream to one platform. The nice thing about being a new person to the streaming environment, especially if you're not locked down by any contract or deal, you can stream to all of them if you want to. There are programs out there that allow you to do that. We're going to dive in that in a minute. But that is your biggest decision. What do you want to stream and where do you want to stream at? For me, myself, obviously, I'm at YouTube. I was at Twitch. I was at Twitch for almost 5 years. I jumped into the Mixer train when Mixer was still around. I was there for about a month or so, but I didn't like it, and I came back to Twitch. And then just recently, I decided to convert over to YouTube, where I'm going to make my permanent home now. All right, for number 2 on the list, what software are you going to use when streaming and or using for content creation? There are tons and tons of software out there, different applications that you can use for live streaming and content creation. Even some products that you purchase may come with free software for doing said content creation or live streaming, depending on where you're going and if where your platform. This is why platform is number 1. If your platform supports that software, so that you can use that software to stream to that platform. So just to name off a couple, there's Wirecast, there's vMix, there's XSplit, there's Prism, there's Restream Studio, there's of course OBS and Streamlabs OBS. Those are some of the bigger ones. Obviously, OBS and Streamlabs OBS are your big main platforms and or I should say software that streamers use day to day. Even some of your biggest names on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook use OBS and or Streamlabs. Those programs offer you a ton of features, which I'll probably get into in another video. I'm going to make kind of a series out of everything and maybe dive a little bit into each software. But the streaming software is obviously going to be your second biggest thing. With what do you want to do? Does the software work on your computer? Does it work on for the platform that you want to stream to? That's a big decision. Me, myself, I use Streamlabs OBS, and that's what I've used since I started content creation. Even right now, I'm actually using Streamlabs OBS to record some of my footage here so that I can make my YouTube's video with it. I also use it when I'm streaming. I can record straight from it as well. That's what I've used for years, and that's what I'm used to. But check out each individual software. Some software may offer you things that you might use more than other software. Do your homework, do your research on that. And yeah, so software, like I said, it'd be number 2 based off of what platform you're streaming to. All right, for number 3, what type of stream setup are you going to use? Now, this could change tremendously. This changes a lot. For myself, it's changed a lot. But depending on how you're streaming or what you're streaming, well, we're going to kind of break down a little bit. For starters, if you're a mobile gamer, like Pokemon Go, people will stream from their phone. Or they'll actually have their phone hooked up to a laptop, and the laptop will actually capture their phone and stream it through the laptop. Then let's say if you're a home gamer, let's say you play on console, your console may have built-in software to allow you to stream to a service or a website or whatever stream platform you're going to. Then you have single PC setups where your PC or your gaming PC plays your games and your streaming software works in the background. You have dual PC straight up, like what I have behind me, where you have a game PC that runs all your video games and then outputs the video and sound to your stream PC. And your stream PC then does all the encoding with the software, your webcam, and all stuff like that, depending on how your setup is done. Dual PC streaming gets a little more complicated. In some cases, it can get very complicated, and I'll have a video that breaks that down and breaks down my setup and all that. I'll do a follow-up with that and add it to the series. There's also 3 PC streaming for those that want to flex or have tons of resources, like Dr. Lupo. For those that don't know who Dr. Lupo is, he's a streamer now on YouTube Gaming. He has 3 PCs that run his stream. Kind of a big flex, but hey, when you got money like that, why not? The stream looks great though, so it's awesome. But depending on what content or what you're going to be doing for your stream may depend on what streaming setup you have. Again, I'll have a follow-up video for that stuff. But let's get into number 4. All right, so for number 4, this one gets a little mixed up. You may or may not need to pay attention to number 4, but I'm going to put it in this video anyway. What type of capture device do you need depending on what you're streaming and or content? Now, if you're doing mobile streaming, you can stream directly from your phone. It'll capture what's on your phone. You don't need to have anything other than that. If you're doing console gaming and your console has streaming software, obviously, you don't need capture cards. You don't need anything like that. Now, if you're console gaming into a PC and your PC is your stream basically hub, that's where all your footage, your cameras, your mics go to. Now, obviously, you might need a capture card. Now, there are plenty of different capture cards out there that all do different things, different refresh rates, different resolutions. So it can get very, very, very complicated quickly on what product you might need. And of course, everyone has their own opinion on what's worked better for them versus this or that, depending on their setup for this and that. That breakdown will probably come in another video. I'll probably make a video just on capture cards. I myself, I use capture card, obviously in my dual PC stream setup. I actually have 3 capture cards in this PC. That does my gaming PC. It actually does the camera you're looking on right now, as well as whenever I want to play like my Nintendo Switch or something like that. There's 3 capture cards in that PC, which can get a little chaotic. But basically, there's a few big brands that I will name out for capture cards. There are, again, tons of brands of capture cards out there. Some that I may have never even heard of before. But the bigger ones right now, you have Elgato, Razer makes capture cards, you have AverMedia, and Blackmagic. Those are really, I think, your 3 biggest capture card companies out there. I would say mainstream capture cards that you would usually hear their name pretty easily. Now, there are tons of studio or professional grade capture cards out there. I didn't put those in this video just because of the simple fact of, if you're just starting off streaming, I don't think you're going to go out and spend $400 or $500 on a capture card. It's just not going to happen. When I first started streaming, I only had 1 PC, and I had probably about a $100 capture card, and I did that for the longest time until I converted over to PC streaming all the time. But again, depending on what your stream setup is, and then of course that depends on everything else that you're doing, you're gonna need to look into a capture card. There are capture cards that go from 720 60 frames, 1080p at 60 frames, 4K now at 60 frames, or if you have, like, depending on what you're playing. Like, for instance, I have a 4K Elgato card, but if I pull that resolution back to 1080p, I can now stream at 240 frames. So it gets a little complicated. I'll make a video directly for that. But again, like, your biggest ones out there, you got Elgato, Razer, AverMedia, and Blackmagic. Those are your bigger companies, in my opinion, that have options and solutions that aren't going to break the bank, especially if you're new to content creation and or streaming. Those would be the companies to look for. All right, and for number 5, social media. Now, that might come as a shock to some people. Why social media? Why should I worry about that when I'm starting to stream or content creation? I'll answer it like this. If you're new to content creation or streaming or anything to do with on the internet, social media and your footprint in social media is the biggest key, in my opinion, on how you spread who you are, spread your channel, spread your work, and get your name out there. Plenty of bigger streamers, if you notice, are on tons of different platforms. Sometimes they're even on platforms just to post some funny things. Obviously you have Discord, you have Twitter, you have Instagram, you have TikTok, you have Snapchat, you even have Facebook. Even if you're a YouTube streamer or a Twitch streamer, you might still have a Facebook page, because you can have your, like I used to have in the past, Fail Mountain Facebook page, where people could go to my Facebook page and I could post some stuff on there. It's another good tool you can use. Discord being a big thing, because obviously your community can have a place to chat when you're not streaming. You can upload photos and checking in with everybody and let everybody know, hey, I'll be streaming at this day at this time. Twitter, obviously, Twitter is the... Oh man, I remember when I first started with Twitter, I was like, what is this place? And now I noticed that everyone uses Twitter to announce, hey, I'm streaming here. Hey, Rainbow Six Siege, this is going on. Twitter has become such a big tool in my arsenal that I never thought would be. Instagram, obviously I upload stuff to Instagram, not all the time, but every now and then I'll post a video or something like that. TikTok. Surprisingly, and my wife talked me into this, I post TikTok videos of like shorts and then stuff that's going on in life and whatnot, just again to make your footprint bigger. Your social media footprint is almost just as important as your stream. Your engagement on stream, your content on stream, how you carry yourself on stream, how likable you're on stream, all of that I would say is just as important as your social media footprint. If you don't exist in other places as a smaller streamer, in my opinion, people just won't know who you are. If you're not, I would say about 10 years ago, if you were into streaming, some of the bigger names on like in streaming in general, like Dr. Lupo, Tim the Tap Man, you had Ninja and stuff like that, they were streaming a decade ago, back when there weren't a ton of streamers. And basically this group, I would say the circle is almost formed, where if you're not kind of casually close to around that group, it's very hard to grow. So again, social media allows you to grow. It allows you to spread your name in other places. People could just be scrolling through TikTok and say, hey, that's a funny video. I'm gonna go follow this guy and check him out, or girl. Again, social media I think is just as important as anything else in your stream or your content creation, and should be a big tool, and you should use it. It's free in most cases. It doesn't cost you anything, maybe but a little bit of time to put a video up. It could be of anything. You could upload anything. I like to take clips from my stream and post them on TikTok, and people love that because it's something funny or enjoyable, depending on what your stream is. Like, you could be Brox over on Twitch, who does his wood carving. I think that's awesome stuff that I've been scrolling through on Instagram. I'll see some of his wood carving stuff. I'm like, that looks dope. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed my top 5 resources and or software / whatever you want to call it, kind of quick overviews of if you want to start a stream or any kind of content creation. I think my 5 biggest things that you should check out, make sure that you kind of have a focus on what direction you want to go to. I know for me, myself, when I first started streaming or content creation, I had no idea what I was doing. I still don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going with it at this point, but at least now you can see what I think as a smaller streamer, what you should be looking into. Now, I will be making smaller videos based on each category. So I'll get a little bit more on streaming setups. I'll go over my streaming setup. It's actually probably gonna be like a 2-part video, because I'll just break down a single PC stream versus a dual PC stream. Because for my setup especially, I have 2 microphones, I've got 4 monitors, I've got a Go XLR over here, I've got alerts that go back and forth, and then on top of it all, I go to a wireless headset. Now that gets a little more trickier, because if for people that know about the Go XLR does not support wireless headset. So I'll go into that obviously on a separate video. I'll break down some Streamlabs and some OBS stuff, or maybe some software. I'll even go over some of the platforms and whatnot in further videos and kind of break all that stuff down. But as always, thank you everybody that came through and watched the video. If you made it to this point, hit the subscribe button down below. Knock that notification bell, so this way you know when I go live and or post another YouTube video. Also, give me a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. Give me a thumbs down if, hey, if you just didn't like the content, that's fine. No big deal. Also, make sure you join and follow the links down below. Join the Discord. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And also, you can check out my merch store down below. Hit that link right there. Use code FAIL for 10% off. And you guys have a wonderful day, evening. Either way, have fun, enjoy gaming, and see you next time.